Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Islands of Insight. It's a new day for me, which means a new load. My mouse scrolled in a weird way there, so we're facing downward. We're at exactly 5 sparks. So, I have in front of me, on my other monitor, a point of the mysteries, a guide with the mysteries that has hints. So if we get to that point, I think I probably will cheat just so we can get to this. One of the things that is revealed in that guide, that is I guess a bit of a spoiler, is that while it only requires 5 mysteries to get into this vault of Vitric, there's then another gate that requires 10 to get to the bottom part, and another gate that requires 15 to get to the top part. So to see all that content, you need at least 15 mysteries solved. Which, yeah, that's going to be a thing. Where are we even? I guess we are still trying to just familiarize ourselves with this location and fly around and do the one trial and find the remaining bits of lore we might be able to find. Yeah, I'm way over here. So, yeah, you are put in this weird situation where, because of what I have to really recognize as really bad game and level design, well, it kind of feels like I'm losing some verticality here, which is weird because I never lost verticality before. But yeah, you really have to call it bad game design in the sense that the flying, the teleporting, and just sky drops are best solved in first person perspective. Thanks for telling me that. Which highlights, I think, how first person perspective is almost certainly what you always want to be in. But yeah, because there's no gating, because there's nothing that lets you and forces you to walk on the map, there's just not any pathways where you have to actually walk from point A to point B and actually be on the ground to see from point A to point B. Which, yeah, you pretty much would have solved that issue had you simply just a deadly pattern. And going up this way doesn't do anything for you. So yeah, they just desperately needed. Why is there a pagoda here? Wow, we really do just cross into that area very quickly. Even a speck of dust has a story. There is definitely a danger of skipping a lot of this. Seems almost perfect. I suspect though that this is actually not anywhere close. Then I have to... Well, I'm not seeing anything else that seems like it comes close to matching. See how this spot here is just totally in the wrong spot. Yeah, it is definitely something closer to this. Although that too just doesn't seem right. So yeah, you kind of just have like double problems in that you probably don't want to do a lot of these puzzles in the first place, but if you don't do them, then what is going to be left of the game after a while is going to simply be this and only this. I think what I'm supposed to do here is match the negative more than try and match the positive. Or try and pay attention to the... See, because like that is seemingly the exact opposite of what we want. So that there feels like there just needs to be an access twist. You get these little flips there where it starts to look right. But you have to be extremely cautious on that. I suppose at a certain level you could run around the entire world looking just for hidden cubes, which we clearly hear a hidden cube in this area. Otherwise we really haven't even been in this area. And I suppose you could keep on doing things like that. fix that. Do you do that first, then that first, then that? Where are you hiding, hidden cube? In a lot of ways, I think the move is probably to do everything except for logic grids, if you can do them, and just leave the logic grids, since we know they are going to be the overwhelming large amount of stuff. Would there be a hidden cube in the water? I mean, that is a question worth asking, certainly, since these areas are fairly full of water elements. I think I saw it. But now I don't see it. And so it's probably not worth the time keeping your focus on any one thing. Just move on to the next thing. See how fast you can unlock something. Still can't really control this game. Yeah, had there been a very smart system where you couldn't go certain areas without getting certain unlock abilities or something, then yeah, you would have forced the player pretty much. I would have to assume that the gliding wings should have an energy base to it, and you should not be able to fly or glide on your own. We could probably do this pretty quickly. Yeah, you shouldn't probably be able to fly or glide on your own at all without having an energy refill that just depletes over an amount of time or over an amount of distance. Then once you beat the main enclave and got to the point where I am, I could see at that point allowing the player to fly. That way, areas like this are still very much better known. Like, I really just ran past this area. I didn't even really run past this area. I didn't come within 100 yards of this area. That's annoying. Imagine there's just a bunch of things that are high up also. Yeah, trying to lock yourself into a vision section is it's going to see, we've got all these different shapes and none of them I think actually match anything near this area. I think the point is to stand in this area and look in distant directions for other matching matchboxes. Yeah, not a single one of those matchboxes actually match the symbols. And these will just go on forever, or at least they will feel like they go on forever. These unfortunately won't go on as far as I'd want. I swear we saw something about 2 lions as one of the mysteries. Let's see if we can possibly double check that. Let's see. Encyclopedia. It's really just going to be mysteries. That we would look for. And even when we found half of the mystery, on one of them we weren't able to really solve it. I do suspect that I am just going to have to use a walkthrough guide. To tell me directly what all the mysteries are. No, I don't know where I got the idea that there was one about 2 lions. It does make a lot of sense that you do have this like unique layout. And I had marked a trial and I suppose just wandered right past the trial. There's supposed to be cornered numbers. It's supposed to be somewhere around here as a trial. Interesting that you can crawl under here. So I'm guessing maybe it's up above. There it is. We are finding monolith pieces, which That probably leads to something. Of course, there's just that really high chance here. So, it's a really high chance here that we'll get the monolith. And yep. What am I trying to say here? We'd unlock the monoliths and they would do nothing for us, which would really suck. Alright, so we know that much is true. Then that means that much is true, I guess, for that. Notice how we've undoubtedly solved harder programs, and it doesn't inherently help us as much with this. So the insights effectively aren't very insightful. This is just going to be totally solvable with me doing that. Somehow painting myself in a corner here by making an assumption that's not inherently true. Alright. If this goes here or here, that goes there. And then if this goes here, or here, or here. If it went here, then this would have to go here, and this would have to go here, and then that can't work. So that means that means that means a couple possibilities there. They actually want me to solve this. If this went here, then this would have to go here. If this went here, then this can't go anywhere, so that has to go there. And I think that probably puts us on the full path of solutions then. Not 100% of the way. This has to go here, that means that has to go there, that means that has to go there. There we go. Four would have to have at least that much going there, because it can't connect to that. And then that means that can't be that, which means that at least has to be that much, which means that has to be that. Yeah, you have the key effectively in this game already. Mare Blisses have to yeah, Mare Blisses should be the thing that would unlock areas, and I've never seen a game actually successfully do what I'm about to suggest, but I think this is the game to try it, where a more central pearl section, the pearl that you awaken an area with, should expand specifically by the number of merit blisses you have, so that there's just a shield around you that you cannot cross. If you had to do that, at the very least it would require you to spend some amount of time, where I spent basically no amount of time in the overworld map before I just ran to the edges and did the enclaves. Had each of the enclaves been more limited. Now, effectively, the enclaves were limited by very small amounts of merit blisses, way too few, because you really only needed 75 to beat the game. You probably should have been required to have somewhere closer to 300 to beat the game, quadrupling the amount of time you would have had to spend in the overworld. It makes this scenario that I'm going through right now, I'm just going to use a hint. Well, I guess if this was here, then that would be there. If this was here, then that can't be there. If this was here, then that can't be there or there. That then locks us in to a lot of solutions, probably solving the whole thing. Yeah, it makes the whole overworld just feel like an afterthought. And once again, that section required only 7 out of more than 7 puzzles in the area. Let's see. Let's now fly from this area to that area. Also, it's just leaving this whole section. This second area itself is just kind of nothing. Okay, each area must equal its regions. So each one of those, I assume, is 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Won't work. We've got to have at least a 1. And then if we did that, that might be a mistake. That may also be the only options. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8. So the off by 1 situation appears here. Two, 4, 6, 7, 8. Three, 5. Yeah. I figured it was something like that. And so which ones are evens and odds is what this is going to come down to. Find the odd one out, solve that, squeeze in the rest of it. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's too much. 2, 4, 6. Let's see how this is going to work. Because that's just going to touch that. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's gotta like zigzag its way up here. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. You could definitely see the game also giving you just more reach. Let's see. Yeah, by having more reach. To click on these puzzles from further distance after you've done the main thing, that would be way more helpful. May have started on the 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 8. See, we need that there. Then I imagine we need something like this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Nope. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, these are all fairly simple. And I did start on the wrong side. Now looking at the difficulty settings. Okay. There's only certain ways you could have done that one. So at least I'm trying here, in the sense of going to the challenges. Yes, we're doing the second area now instead of going back and doing the one remaining thing we have in the first area, which is not the worst thought anyways. Just keep changing things up and making things mouse cursor is still it probably needs some kind of acceleration on it that would naturally exist in most other games. It's not even worth really trying to hit those from this far distance. Still tons of skyboxes, still tons of, well, tons of matchboxes too, and tons of sky drops. Remember, most of these puzzles reset. And I don't want to spend time on those. The Pentad puzzles are not difficult, really. And they can be very helpful. They're just not, I think, a priority at the moment. Area, insight, keep it together. Okay. Let's see what that does for us. In this case, you kind of need to be on the side, don't you? Let's just go ahead and assume that to be right. Assume that to be right. Assume that to be right. And then I think we pretty much know what we're doing here. I think there has to be more of a thing going on there. This one, we can only put so many together. Well, this is an intriguing situation where if you do that, that'll hit you too many times. Which means you have to find entire sections here that can pair together. But yeah, these insights I don't think are really doing too much. Let's start with that. And get rid of that. And then that's going to push this in such a way that you have 5 plus 3 is 8, 9, 10, 11 would work here, breaking out that much. And then this is going to push us that way, forcing that, and then filling in the rest of that. the rest of this is going to work. See, supposed to do this. That one has to touch that. So there's no way that works. So that has to touch that. In that direction. My general assumption I think is going to be proven wrong here. Well, there could be a 4 here, and then the 5 could go down here. Do that. Then you'd have to get into something like that. Which then breaks this 4. Which I think does put everything back. Either way, one of those two has got to be white on that side. May very well have started on the wrong side here. That has to go at least that far. If this touched that much, then that turned into that much. I think we'll just use some hints here. The problem here is none of this is going to lead towards a good explanation. Yeah. And there's all my hints. The last hint was that this was white. Which if that was white, then what do I do otherwise? Make that white, make that black. Yeah, we have this whole left side set in good standing, but that doesn't inherently mean it's right. Wow. And that's just another example of just being one step away and it not really revealing itself. Well, we can collect another Mariblis for what little that's worth. I don't think they're worth anything now. It's just bragging rights. So there's several trials in this area. And I guess we should just continue to try and find those trials. Now the problem with that is that to do the trials in that area would require doing the fairly difficult in-game trials. So instead, let's turn around and walk downward. So if you're getting Mariblisses for doing certain puzzles in the overworld, and Mariblisses are the things that the Mariblisses are the things that unlock the enclaves, then you're inherently, if you're doing the overworld puzzles, unlocking enclaves even faster. Interesting, there's a little visual glitch there. Thought I saw. Yep. I did see the thing, so invisible things are things to grab, because flying around trying to find those would be difficult. Really only need one more ring and then I could turn in the quest, but why even turn in the quest? I should probably sit on it and wait until I know for certain I'm going to make multiple episodes. Here you have a collapsing gate. I think we'd already done everything here. So yeah, I definitely would pity any player who went through the hassle of getting into the Vault of Vertic to only then have... I swear I thought I had already solved this. It is possible, I guess, that the puzzles are just resetting. Okay. So the move here is, I guess, to move as quickly as possible without making mistakes, which seems kind of difficult. just don't know what you're supposed to do here. I guess you could do that, but how could you do that? Well, let's give that a try, I guess. But yeah, might as well just like restart. That took so incredibly long, you might as well just exit out and start all over again. And then try to move as fast as possible on all of these. I just don't feel like the game actually runs fast enough to solve 20 of these in a smooth manner. Yeah. To me, the game really screams like it's barely running at half the speed it should be. This also could just be a case that I'm just inherently really bad at these types of puzzles, and I suppose that is also a possibility. Yeah, I can't figure this out. That seems like that's the right move, but then you get to this spot and I don't know what the right move is. Something here has to move that to that and has to do that, but it can't be anything too special. Moving that down doesn't do it. Moving that up doesn't do it. Moving that up that way. Moving that up that way. So, yeah. I just don't see myself ever getting lucky enough to get 20 of these puzzles done. Five puzzles is all I got. Yeah, I imagine it is just a case of you've got to get lucky. You've got to figure out exactly what to do. And you've got to figure it out quickly. There might be a case here where you actually are repeating the same puzzles over and over again, which if that is true, then that would, I suppose, explain some stuff. That would be at least a way. To solve 20 puzzles in a row is that you just get very familiar with them. Actually, what's the right move? Then they like to just throw this at you. And if it was just like 20 matches, then I could probably make 20 matches in a puzzle. But now they've just thrown the same puzzle at me. Like, it is recognizable. Maybe there is some trick to this in that you do that and do that, but you do that earlier. Okay. So yeah, there isn't a way this game is going to let you avoid certain puzzles from the looks of it. So your real hope here is that it would just adjust for that and give you easier puzzles later. Well, actually, that is interesting. Something did just occur there. Is there any way to get... We need this all the way down there. Which means we need this out of the way. Which means we need that. And that. We are running out of time. That was only 13 puzzles. I really don't see myself ever being able to move fast enough for that. I think it is asking something way more than I think I can do. So long as the river of time is flowing, the library is burning. Is that the Library of Alexandria that they're referencing there, or are they referencing a completely different library? From this angle, how you would match that up? I guess you have to be here. This may be a crouch down situation, but no, it really isn't. There's really only so many different places one can stand. Yeah, these perception puzzles really don't feel like they are well polished. I suppose maybe the angle at which you see them might be more of a hint. And you gotta get right to the edge, don't you? I mean, that looks to be about right. It's definitely glowing brighter the further I stand. But yeah, it is just easier to click for days. inherently it is worth pointing out that there is a massive amount of not grade A as class. I think the game just got tired of me clicking at that point. Puzzle games out there. And that's definitely what I would kind of just classify this as, is that this is something that tried but didn't really succeed at making enough of a polished experience to be compared to something like Myst or The Witness. But also, tried is a loaded term that probably shouldn't even be used here, because I kind of don't feel like they did try. I think they tried to a certain point to develop some kind of game, possibly a game that was going to be 100% puzzles originally, but very possibly was just going to be a Chinese MMO of some sort with puzzles, or maybe not even with puzzles. Solving an easy one like this shouldn't be a problem. It definitely feels like there's just a distinctive lack of game testing and polish here. And I don't have any faith in this game getting fixed in any way. Whatever fixed would even look like. You would basically need a kind of editor of some sort for this game to have, and a huge fandom, which to rely on to actually use the editor, and then have people move things around, change puzzles, add puzzles. Add puzzles would be the first thought, but overall just modding the game I think also should be a consideration. I don't know how you would ever possibly solve these without the ability to see what is behind other ones. So that is one upgrade that actually has proved to be useful. And today's a new day, so I'm really going to try the quest for perfections, even though in the last episode I definitely gave up on a couple of them. Yeah, I could definitely just go around places forever. Okay, we don't have hints in quest for perfections, so we also have to know that much. That's one. Then we can't make 3 in a row or of either color, which then fills in all of that and is inherently just going to make the checkerboard pattern. You have to connect all the dark cells, so that has to be that, that has to be that, that has to be that. That puts you at least to that spot. Then we have to connect all the light cells, which means those are all light. And then that goes around to that, and then that goes around to that, making that dark. Now, does this go forever? Is, I guess, the next question to ask. I'm not sure if it goes forever or not. Yeah. So it's supposed to just be your first quest for perfection anyway, so it really shouldn't be too difficult. It says it's only 1-star difficulty. Congratulations, you've completed 5 puzzles and earned a merit bliss. So yeah, that wasn't too hard, and I actually spent the effort there to do that. So, in this Verdant Glen, then there's only 1 trial left. There is a ton of puzzles left. And then there's the all-seeing monolith left. And then there is probably 1 more lore I can reach, and I would suspect 4 pieces of lore that are inside the Vault of Vertic. So, the question to ask is, can we find the monuments the all-seeing monolith components? This is a fairly small area, so we would anticipate it couldn't be that hard to find all the components for the pentad, and I probably should do the pentads now, since we are looking for things. We can shoot ourselves way too high, then slow ourselves down somewhat. I wasn't actually anticipating landing on the tip of that. I was anticipating landing over here. What I'm trying to do is walk in some stranger areas and see if maybe I hear some invisible things or see invisible things. Okay. Hint ads give us a good excuse to look around areas and walk around areas, listening for any hidden cubes, or in just now any hidden arch was found. I don't mind the double jump and the triple jump being unlockable fairly early in the game. That is pretty standard for what I would have expected in a game that has at least some 3D aspects, 3D platforming aspects. I guess bigger puzzles. Like these. Are going to stand out like a sore thumb if they stay around and they don't disappear and reload as other puzzles. It really is just no telling. I don't know if even the rings are kind of permanent fixtures. And that does create a weird situation, I guess, in that I guess I just don't know what I don't know. Could be hundreds of invisible hidden rings, and there could be hundreds of other things that, along with the puzzles that we do know reset and load in and load out. I guess if we're finding lores, the search for a living world defined my entire being. Such worlds are hidden far within the depths of all existence. But when at last I turned my eyes back upon the known realm, the other Orioles had vanished. Do this trick. You fall down or trick. That's never to your advantage. At least I don't think it's ever to your advantage. This really is poorly designed. Because these walls don't mean anything. They are made up elements. The trees going through the walls may be more glitched than intentional. trying to solve any puzzles here. Yeah, let's just first mistake leave. We're looking for all-seeing monolith pieces, and maybe we'll find some other elements. And so my thought in particular about the all-seeing monolith is you probably have to be able to see the all-seeing monolith to get all-seeing monolith pieces. That there's no way the cubes you hit are going to this is going to be a tiny little pixel. So many of these solutions are like this. And inherently, I would have rejected these kinds of puzzles or tweaked them in such a way that you're not having to zoom in and look for specific pixels to solve it. I suppose it is possible that there are other solutions and I'm just not seeing them. This is a very small area. And this is another crumbling gate. Inherently, I think there's just going to be a lot of those. I think the move here is that they're mostly just being sneakier about hiding things behind walls. There's a matchbox that I think I'd struggle to find a mate for. And the shielded section makes it almost impossible to see through these walls, so that matchbox, if I was to stand here and try and look for its pair, you never find it. You have to stand outside. Around we go again. Looking for a hidden fifth pentad. So that one's not even in the bubble. Ah, because I have the shrinking bubble ability now, don't we? So the bubble is shrinking. Is the bubble shrinking slowly? This is the first time I've actually seen it do anything. It does seem like it is shrinking fairly slowly, but it is shrinking. So you get this ability then it's not even going to do you the favor of allowing you to play faster. So yeah, I guess you can watch it slowly get smaller and smaller, although it may have a minimum set. It may just have a minimum distance. See this matchbox, and I don't see any other matchboxes, so I'm gonna move on. There it is. We spent some time down here. Not what I would consider a ton of time. Here, a hidden cube. Maybe spend a lot of time seeing if we could line up sky drops. May not be as finite a number of them, as infinite a number of them as I thought originally. Slightly more manageable numbers. Your thought would be that you would fall down in this area quite often, but that didn't really happen. Or that you would have to cross this path very, very often. That would be a believable turn of events to just make this whole area more relevant. Because it is really just a lot of nothing otherwise. Nothing being a relative descriptor, of course. There's plenty of puzzles here. Not too far off. This is probably a pretty easy one. Probably one I should pay more attention to the colors on. And you get shot up here. then I'd have to use my own shoot up to get to the next level. Yep, it definitely does feel like the goal is to not overwhelm the player in this first area too much. It also feels like there's still hundreds, not thousands, of puzzles in this first area. Just an incredibly... Well, if there's supposed to be 10,000 puzzles in the entire game, let's just think for a second how does that break down into the 5 areas. It would be 2,500 puzzles for 5 times 5? Nope, it'd be 2,000 puzzles times 5 areas, assuming that they were equally distributed, which they probably aren't. Still trying to find the all-seeing monolith, which I should put a marker there. I should keep my general eye towards the sky as far as where would all-seeing monolith blocks be. Yeah, otherwise I really am just grinding out things. Oops. Didn't really mean to do that. I meant to run. I suppose we should just play the game the way you obviously are supposed to play the game despite the glitches. The game has already screwed me over as far as the number of sparks I should have. Should be much higher, thousands of sparks higher than what I am. So let's just turn in that quest and take in another one. Just that one. That's probably a more difficult puzzle. Yeah, and they just keep coming, don't they? I'm pretty sure these were not here before. Maybe they were. I thought I heard a hidden arch sound effect. If that is triggering somewhere. I don't know where. come over here and do this again. Seriously doubt there can be too many of these. Okay. So like the all-saint monolith spots might be fairly limited in this area with all the trees and such. I don't know how to really see them. Yeah. Like, yes, I can see the all-seeing monolith from this spot. How do I find a brick that would connect to the all-seeing monolith? Knowing that there's a limited number of them, and there kind of has to be a limited number of them, the game would become insanely unmanageable otherwise. Like, so this whole pyramid is blocking a significant amount of angles for the all-seeing monolith. So we know that much. Something like that. Nope. Do something like this first. This was an area I know I was particularly unenthused with when I first arrived, so I could definitely see having not spent enough time in this area. Maybe if we get rid of a ton of sky drops here. Open up this area more. I guess there is a question of bottlenecking in that if there's just certain areas where the game opts to cram significant amounts of puzzles, would we not see other puzzles show up? Okay. Alright, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. This is one of the few things that could be right. If we were going to do that, we would have to do something like that. So the only way this works is what's the next step there? So that to line up. And if I did that, this definitely feels like this could have been a prototypical enclave area. As far as just, here's an area with a lot of puzzles. Yeah, specifically in this area, I want to just eliminate as many puzzles as possible. That way, this all-seeing eye, or all-seeing monolith, not all-seeing eye, is more segregated away from any other distractions. That being said, there's still a ton of sky drops in these areas. Like sky drops on top of other sky drops. Okay, do we see perhaps where the red matchbox is? It does feel like that very possibly the puzzles here are more bespoke, more handcrafted than a lot of the other locations. Which, that would make sense. This almost certainly was always a early in development area. Okay. So from this, I can't click on that. And weirdly, it is not pointing to any spots at all. Let's get rid of that and see if that changes anything. We have on the map for ourselves that location, which we can get rid of, and that location, which we can get rid of, which might make things a little bit easier to see. Okay, now that we have a monolith fragment connected, does that mean all of these spots are the remaining? Oh, so this is really easy, isn't it? So all I need to do is click on one. That's already been found, and it will tell me the remaining ones, as if I can find it. That was about the worst one to click on. Well, we did just click on one. Okay, so you click on one that's already found, and then we rush. Okay, and there we are, we found it. Just give me a moment to look around and see if there's anything else I want to do in this area. See if we can maybe find some matchboxes. This is undoubtedly another area. So we click on that, and it should be pointing to where the last all-seeing monolith is, and good news is I know where it is. Bad news is it's at the very top of the pyramid. Which isn't terrible news, but yeah, it is something. This was the Temple of Infinite Rings, which I do suspect actually is infinite rings. If you ever need to do rings. They're just matchboxes all over the place. It probably just never ends. And so I'm preparing myself for disappointment here, in that more than likely we kind of know what's going to happen here. The game is going to let us do the all-seeing monolith, and then it's not going to reward us in any way whatsoever. This is quite the chase. Yep. Then we know the only trial in this area there is the match 3. There is a guide for doing the match 3 puzzles if I wanted to really try. But I'm not gonna try that hard. So the hope here is to find a location that's fairly high up to start with. And there's just a level of craziness with all this that I feel like nothing is ever going to be good enough. That the game is going to just constantly move you to more puzzles. I suspect the trick here is probably to get rid of that first, and then move that over. Probably move that over. And then we've got to get this piece where it needs to be. Here is the top section. There's the all-seeing monolith. So the all-seeing monolith is complete. Let's look at the map. You have a Mirabilis for doing environmental puzzles. But yeah, we're barely at like past level 6 of 167 possibilities. There's just an insane amount of gameplay here. Yeah. And there is literally nothing else to do in this section. As far as the main quests, we've done all of those. And as far as the side quests, we've done all those. I assume that these 4 lore fragments are inside the Vault of Vertic, and so we can't do that until we have 15 mysteries unlocked. Maybe doing the all-seeing monolith would help give us mystery hints. And my familiarity of this region has increased, I think, significantly, going from basically barely any to being somewhat more well accustomed to what to expect. But yeah. It is effectively still, though, lots of regions I haven't really touched upon, and lots of sections. Lots and lots of puzzles. Falling under pressure. Okay. Guess the move here is to figure out if there is some way to speed this all up. No, I don't think there really is. So, the level of familiarity with puzzles. The clicking here doesn't increase the time. Yep. These are the same puzzles. So I guess a level of familiarity would work. I would have to just become such an expert on solving these. I guess that is the one strategy that will work here. Just keep on trying over and over again. Of course, why would I really want to do this on screen? But it make a lot more sense to do that off screen. Suppose if you eventually did just stop struggling with puzzles, then that might work for you. Let's see. How do I get this down there? Once again, not getting anywhere close. So let's leave this area and investigate the secondary area. The second area. You know that in Lucid Waters there's several trials. There's probably only one trial that I haven't done that I could really do. So let's look mostly just for this. Boy in the Traveler, once again a character I totally missed. Pillars rising from the earth, carved by the hands that came before me. Yet I see the work of an older hand, one that carves the pools into stone. They both speak to me through the wonders they left behind. Still feels like it is mostly nonsense, pretending to be deep intellectual thought. We had a whole chase sequence on top of that, I think so. There being a hidden cube on that's less likely. So what I'm looking for is this. This all-seeing monolith will point the other all-seeing monolith spots. So let's first of all mark where the all-seeing monolith is so we can see and look in the right direction. Yeah. Seeing one point up and a couple point in that direction. I'm just going to click on that and off we go. Ignore all other distractions. There is one in the other area, but it will instead follow. It seems like the all-seeing monolith boxes can be clicked on from any distance also. Which makes them fairly easy to target. From your central spot. How did I miss that? That was truly there. Probably have gotten significantly better at finding hidden cubes than I was originally. That brings that on. Getting distracted. Okay. Easiest spot to start would be there. And then yeah. I don't think I'm gonna be able to spot it. See any red matchboxes around while we're at it. Okay. That's a matchbox. see. Scroll around to make that match. Where is the last matchbox? It is perhaps a little unfair to have a all-seeing monolith cube be in the exact same area that you have a bunch of matchboxes. I think that's definitely the intention. It gives you more excuses, certainly, to keep on playing. To continuously try and clear out. But I'm going to definitely just ignore all of the, let's see, like the logic puzzles. So if I was going to try and exhaust all these puzzles, eventually the game would change into a very different experience. I've said that before, of course, but I guess it bears repeating. At least I thought it did. Yeah. My disappointment was confirmed here, in that the all-seeing monolith cube did not lead, doing all the all-seeing monolith cubes did not lead to anything more as far as revealing all the puzzles in the game. Which it was very possibly a stupid hope to even have in the first place, because I would have to be years into playing this game. I think I would have to make this my main, and I can't imagine that is actually fun, just wandering around this world that much. This is weirdly kind of a world like that leads definitely to that theory, which I guess the story has ended now, and my theory is wrong, that this is just artificial intelligences being trapped in a computer world and trying to be kept busy. But yeah, this is the nightmare of a paradise, in that nothing's hurting you, nothing's attacking you in this world, but you are effectively trapped in a realm in which nothing matters, and you can't do anything other than run and jump around. Which that's always been, I think, a feeling of how people often describe heaven, is that it is just a place of perfection in which you're not doing anything other than perhaps worshipping your personal God there. Or your personal choice of God, or whatever heaven means to you. Of course, that is also the argument that human beings in human form just need something to strive for and need something to challenge them. Particularly in the video game world, I tend to agree with that thought. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. You can't really zoom in when you're flying. It almost feels like almost every brick in this game could be replaced with a hidden cube procedurally. Okay. So the implication is that we're kind of close. Definitely feel like this area introduced too many sky drops in one spot. The less is more mentality definitely could have been applied here. There's just a lot of everything in this area. Although weirdly, that still didn't lead to me spending enough time in this area, because by the time I'd even gotten to the second section of the game, out of 5 sections, I'd hit a oversaturation point, I suspect, of same puzzles. So yeah, I definitely feel like I played right by rushing to the edges, rushing to the enclaves. I still think I'm probably playing right now by rushing to trials and rushing to the all-seeing monoliths. I'm a little confused here, because I just clicked on a if we have one here and it's already found, means there has to be we didn't finish the all-seeing monolith. We really are just making small things. Echoes of time. That is a thought, certainly. It's also very believable that there are 4 pieces of lore in the... Yeah. As far as the echoes of time go, we're not anywhere close to unlocking any of those. But yeah. There's some side quest or trial. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's a trial here that is extra on top of these 3. Nope, those 3 are it. So those are all the trials. So we should just spend some time seeing if we can do those. I guess if I fly away from the all-seeing monolith. Oh, it is pointing to something way closer. I think. Yeah. It's either at the edge of this building I suspect it's somewhere around this building. Which these launch buildings getting you to the Pearl didn't play enough of a role. His angle seems to indicate maybe a little bit more. Just in the trees. I mean, if I was wrong, then it would have to be over in that direction. Which I do feel like I've been all over this section. That one's already found. Anywhere else we can find a matchbox? Might just be in these little columns. So doing that all-seeing monolith also seems to have unlocked something, although maybe not. Because I didn't really see anything unlocked there. Shrinking bubble, pentads. In this area in particular. Suspect will make quicker work. All of this. 2 points still could make an area fairly wide. Whereas 1 point basically tells you that it has to be in the center. Okay, so we'll take off that marker and we'll just fast travel to this area, which, by the way, let's see where we are. We are still 5,000 short from buying what we would want, and we've leveled up a couple times. Now, is this an infinite chase sequence, or are we actually trying to do several different chase sequences, which aren't particularly too difficult? Split apart, then touching two at the same time. So, as far as I can tell, that's the end of all of that. Which, okay. Trickster Island, we've also done everything with. So it would be the upper floor, would be the next one. And then there is another one to do, I think. Well, it might be that the mysteries themselves are considered a trial. Or it might be the case that Trickster Island has one more puzzle, which it does. And so that's not finished. Connect all the light dots. Don't make any square patterns. Apparently I'd already done that one. How can we connect all of these without making a square pattern? Just no other way to connect that part. Should just use foresights, I guess. Heavily here. Okay. Probably easier to do it that way. See, this is kind of a stop point here. This has to stop there. It has to stop there. Because we can't go any further. Don't make this pattern. Okay. That shouldn't be too hard. So, proving to be particularly too difficult yet. Let's see. Well, in this case, kind of know where we're going with this. And this is just gonna work its way downward. hitting that. Kind of smart move, I think, to line up all of the let's see. Okay. And it could bump out and then back. Like that. Kind of has to go that way. That is not giving you quite enough room to get B where it needs to go. Which just, I guess, inherently means that what's going to happen here is you are going to curve everything. Yeah, and there's going to only be so much room. Okay. So this does just kind of feel like it is a random assortment of puzzles that we're doing right now. There's no way A does that, does it? It's gotta be something closer to that. And we have to connect all dark cells, which means we're also coming back later. Okay. That connects that, and that solves that. Yeah, it definitely feels like this is something that could have driven me crazy, but it isn't. Nothing really stops that. So then the only question is, how do we get that to 3? How many more of these? There's like quite a few. Really? Yeah, that was 8 of 16. There's still quite a few. Like all dark cells. Which means it's gotta go that way. That could go that way. Nope. So that's gotta go that way. Since we know that all connects that way, and we need enough room, then we know that goes that way. That goes that way. 2, 3, 4. This upper floor. Not particularly impressive if it was supposed to be a final puzzle location. Exactly 1 symbol per light area. Okay. I'm not sure how far this all goes. Really? I mean, I could speculate that it's just that. But then that wouldn't really connect that area. Oh, you just have this whole setup. Makes that way more difficult. So now it's just going to get easier as far as which puzzles to do. 15 basically has to go that way. 9 connects. So if I did that, it doesn't work. I feel like that gets stuck there. And then this curves around here. So if there's supposed to be a theme here, I would assume the main theme on this is that everything kind of curves around in this section. In the same way that this upper floor curves around. This is just straight up a pattern. Okay, well, I'm seeing a bunch of T shapes, so let's see if that makes any sense. I'm not sure. Apparently that's wrong. Apparently that's right. Wow. That was just dumb luck. I would have never guessed that was right. Alright, well, whatever. Let's just follow the logics. Seeing a bunch of plus signs. This, I don't think it's going to be too hard to figure out. Okay, what did we miss here? Spiral. Seeing a spiral. You have 6, then 4, then 2, then 1. And then it starts again here, doesn't it? Now it's gotta start. Something more like that. Okay, we're getting these all done. this is just pattern recognition. Okay. Trying to just kind of brute force this. Must still have something off. Yep. Slightly off. So that's all 16 of the upper floor. Trickster Island would be the last section. Before we do that, let's see what these mysteries are. Among all faces of stone, there is one that is far larger than the rest. Beneath that face is a logic grid that is cradled by 3 tree trunks. By the three trunks of a small tree. Solve it by connecting all dark cells instead of light ones. Well, okay, we may be able to actually do that one, if it's where I think it is. Above the precipice where 2 waterfalls kiss in the air, a peculiar object awaits discovery among the rocky cliffs. Its familiarity hints at its purpose. So as far as Trickster Island goes, we haven't done Shady Wildwood, the spirals section. Okay. Among the stone faces, there is one by far that is larger. That would be this stone face here. Three trunks. Logic grid. Here. Have we found a mystery? That would be the perfect way to end this episode. To successfully solve a mystery without having to use a walkthrough guide or in any other way cheat. That was a much smaller circle. It's probably a case where they are intentionally putting these sky drops, loading them in groups. Because if you weren't loading them in groups, probably would be too easy to figure out. Seriously, how am I supposed to make a circle through the tree? Which definitely feels like that is the move. "60 seconds of chromatic sky drops." in this area, it doesn't matter. So we need to connect all light cells, and let's solve this the correct way first, which means we will lock off can't make that shape either, so we have to separate it. Okay. Three trunks. Guess those are technically trunks because they're coming out of the ground. So then you hit restart. And the hint was solve all the lights instead of the darks. Like, I'm fairly certain that is right. Face of stone. Among all of the faces of stone, there is one that is far larger than the rest. Beneath that face, a logic grid cradled by three trunks of a small tree. Solve it by connecting dark cells instead of light ones. Ah, okay. That makes more sense. Okay. So we're going to ignore this and we are going to just connect let's see. So we don't care about this one. We probably do care about this rule though. And we probably do care about this rule. But the general idea, I think, is to mark it as solved. Yeah. I don't think there's wiggle room here. gotta connect that, and then if we're gonna connect that, we gotta connect that. And if we connect that, so we gotta do something a little bit wilder. I don't think the hint's gonna help me at all in this case. So what's the next trick? This might be a great example, and I know we're going long today, but yeah, this might be a great example just of how little I've really learned. We're close. I think we're closer. That's about as far as that could go, and that's not helpful, really, in any way. It can go that way, and that can go that way, and that can connect that much. That can go that way. Going around in circles. That has to be there, which inherently means that has to be there, which inherently means that has to be there, which inherently means that has to be there, which means that much at least is wrong. which means that is probably right. So then how do we connect to this spot? That works on almost every level, with the exception of this. Can't do that, so that has to be dark, which means that can't connect there. Okay, so let's say you did that. Then how does that change anything? Now. It just makes it more difficult. Say you did that. Does that work for anything? No. My hint here is not going to help me much, but maybe I'll find something from that. Yeah, again, I'm just trying to use the hints, even though I know the hints aren't for me. Okay. It does just feel like there would have to be something like that. Well, we definitely have a different appearance there. And so look at that. We do have a whole different mystery ending space to that, which then highlights, I guess, the top left one there is getting lit up as being solved. Alright. And if we go back and look at it, it is the same solution. Okay. At the precipice where two waterfalls kiss in the air, a peculiar object discovers among the rocky cliffs. Its familiarity hints at its purpose. Let's see if maybe we could do that too. Two waterfalls kiss in the air. It's just my alarm going off. Don't worry about it. Yeah, as soon as we load into here, we have just yet another massive amount of sky drops. They really loved making these sky drops. Or, I suppose, it may just be that it is really easy to make these sky drops. I wouldn't be surprised if you could procedurally do that pretty easily. Although I'm still not sure that they aren't doing the same locations and layouts. It might be the form of the sky drops are about the same, but the locations of them are, there we can see all the all-seeing monoliths, which we'll do that later. Two waterfalls kiss in the air. It says. Is that supposed to be two waterfalls, or is that just one waterfall with a lot of branching? And precipice, I think, means high up place. Not high enough to hit that ring. Flying sections here. It's also very possible that this is not what it's talking about, and that there are two waterfalls somewhere completely different. Just really needed to get to a higher vantage point. Like, inherently, there's also possible that it is in an enclave somewhere. Yeah. Where did it go? Which one was the one we were looking for? Yeah, I'm having a hard time just... Yeah, above a precipice where two waterfalls kiss in the air, a peculiar object awaits discovery among the rocky cliffs. Its familiarity hints at its purpose. Okay. Crouch down and walk that way. Peculiar object floats in the air. Doesn't really scream logic grids to me. Although it may very well just be yet another logic grid. And see if this was the mystery. Point here is to get this out of cycle. Of course, that may not be as doable as it seems. The math just doesn't seem like it ever wants to add up. I guess the question then would be, how could something like that have unlocked a mystery? Yeah, I don't think it really could have. Missed it. These are tiny little rings. and that didn't lead to anything. So unless there was something more hidden. Don't think I'm gonna find it on my own. And so yeah, I ended this episode. I started this episode saying that I may need a walkthrough for the mysteries, and I end the episode saying I may need a walkthrough through them for the mysteries. But we made a lot of good progress today, so I'm not going to complain too much. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.